Well, we're back. We're back with an installment. We've missed a few weeks here giving you guys updates. I hope you understand why with all the sales and everything going on. It was a zoo at the McDonald household. A zoo at the McDonald household, and it was fun. It was great, but it is what it is. You know what? I'm going to start off my video very simple. I had a gentleman come up to me last night, one of our clients, very, very nice man, and he said, I hope everybody recognizes what you've done for them in being able to race in the Hambletonian, the Canadian Trotting Classic, the Breeders' Crown, of course, the Beal, you know, all the stake races we raced in this year, all the races we won in Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Indiana, Illinois, all the stuff we've accomplished as a group together. He said, I hope they recognize what you've done for them. I said, I got to stop you there. I didn't do anything for anybody. I did my job. I hope that you recognize what you did for me. 3 years ago, my wife and I didn't have anything. Yeah, I had a job as a driver, a mediocre, you know, okay driver. I made a living, I paid the mortgage, but I was gone 7 days a week. You know, all hours of the day, running around, marketing myself, trying to get drives, trying to work at what I was doing. Now I was in politics. Once I lost those drives, I never got them back. So things were bleak for me in this industry. Sure, I could have stayed in politics and got an office job somewhere and, you know, done my best to convince myself it was the right thing for me at the time. It was going to be tough, though. You know, when we started TheStable.ca, and I jokingly say this, but it's 100% the truth. When I started TheStable.ca with my wife, it was so that I had a job. I thought we could convince enough people to buy horses with us, and sure, we had some luck. We had some good years training and driving throughout my career in this industry. Now, I was never Ron Burke or Richard Burrow or Carmen or anybody else. I was just a guy that, you know, grinded out at maybe a 270, 280 average, a 280 clip, did good, worked my butt off, but like most other trainers, I found it, you know, it felt like you're standing in quicksand. When you're not sinking, that's the good times. The bad times, they can really get a hold of you and drag you down, and it's a tough industry. And when we started the stable, it was simply just to bring people into the industry, but I didn't have any intentions to save anybody. I didn't have any intentions to save the industry. Intentions to save myself. And then as we brought people on and saw how encouraging it was and how people love this industry, exactly how I thought and hoped they would. It was only then that I realized what we could literally do for the industry. The scope of what we had built. What we had built was a growing community. People that loved horses, people that wanted to be around our industry, people that had fun being in our industry. And last week that was on display. You know, I had a tough decision to make. A large portion of our owners of Cruising in Style did not want to go to the Breeders' Crown. Almost half. You know, if we made it a fair vote, they would have lost by votes. Not a lot. But that's where the business side of the industry butts heads with the love of the industry. You know, racing Cruising in Style last night, sure, we knew he was a long shot. There was other long shots that won. Could he win? Probably not. But he might. Might get in the final, might make some money. Who knows? It's horse racing. But what happened last night was exactly what we thought would happen. Got away best it could, dropped in the 3-hole, got a good toe, finished 6th in a 6-horse field. Not a disgraceful 6th. Trotted in 55 in the mud, but he was 6th. Didn't make the final. Lawmaker. Horse that has meant so much to us and so much to the stable, so much to my wife and my kids, myself, to everybody out there. You know, he himself has played a tremendous role in bringing recognition to what we do by accident. You know, has struggled a little bit. He started off his year injured up on his back. He overcame that. Raced unbelievably well in a number of stake races. Raced on Hambo Day. Just had a good year. And then when he made that break on Hambo Day, he bruised his cannon bone, I believe. He was lame. He was lame after that. I raced him in the Meadows his next start. First time I ever saw a Lawmaker not 100% sound. and he obliterated the field. That's what kind of heart this horse turned into having. Obliterated the field. Took him to Toronto, tried to get him sound. He wasn't good in the Simcoe. He showed it. Went to the front, controlled the race, and finished 8th. Controlled the race the same way he did the week before in the Meadows, and he finished 8th. So I said, all right, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and strip everything away, figure out what we're going to do. We put him in the pool, swam him for 2 weeks, worked with the vet. We spent a lot of money. Worked with the vet. He came on the track off 2 weeks. Just a one training trip on the Tuesday before the Canadian Trotting Classic. He was good. He was good. Maybe 95, 98%. He raced good. Finished 4th. He got beat fair and square by 3 of the best trotters on the planet, 3-year-olds. Raced great. Did a lot that day. After then, we sent him down to Andrew. He thought he could get him patched up. He was a little bit sore after the race. We x-rayed him again. Couldn't find anything. Again, thought it was a bone bruise. Worked on him, worked on him, worked on him. By the time we got to the Breeders' Crown, he was supposed to have a tightener into him. But the vet that Andrew was working with said he's almost right. Give him time, he's almost right. And Andrew was asking me, and I said, hold on. I'm not going to do what every other owner did in the past of this industry and say, put the purse check first, put the industry first, put my wallet first, and then the horse. Make sure the horse is sound. If the horse is sound, and you are comfortable that you can train him or school him and have him tight, then we'll race him. If not, that's it. It's a year. So he schooled him, 55, thought he was good. Get the Poconos, short field, which means hopefully a breather. We might be okay. You know how quick Lawmaker can leave. In my mind, I'm going to leave, make front, slam the brakes on, let Andy Miller come around. Hopefully he slams the brakes on. We get a decent middle half, sneak into the final with the horse tight and sound. Down comes the rain. It's getting muddy. I leave out of there 26 in a piece. It taxed me to get to the front. Out comes Andy. I'm like, finally. He didn't tap the brakes. 55 flat in the mud. Lawmaker didn't like that. He got tired. Finished 6th. But that's the year, you know. And then I wrote a big message last night on Facebook and was talking about this. And somebody said, you know, were you disappointed? Of course I'm disappointed. Look at what we did. Look at how many stake races we won over the last 2 years, though. Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Illinois, Indiana. The whole thing surrounding Swandre the Giant. White Tiger equaled the world record in Pennsylvania a month ago or 5 weeks ago. We didn't just do that. We did that from nothing in 3 years. As people are contracting their stables, people calling us all the time. You want to buy some bridles, blankets, harnesses. Our stable's shrinking, our stable's shrinking. I just looked, did the math. TheStable.ca owns 129 horses right now. 564 clients, added 2 more this morning. So no, I don't owe you anything. Pretty sure I owe you everything. So that's how I left that. So we'll start off this week with a thank you, because the ride you've given Amy and I, it's been something else. And for the clients out there that think for some reason that they owe me something, you certainly don't. So that's the start of today's video sermon. We talked about Lawmaker, what he's done for me, what he meant to me, cruising in style, what that horse has done for us also. There's a horse that made just over 200 Canadian in 2 years, a horse that we bought, that the breeder, Terry DeVos, stayed involved with, that we got no expectations. It's been a great horse for us also. And if we didn't have Lawmaker and Cruising in Style, we were talking about him right now, I'd be just as proud. So Cruising in Style has been great. White Tiger, sure, need a little injury at the end of the year, the line on the wing of his foot. He'll heal perfect. And I would fully expect he'll have a great 3-year-old season too. Another horse that made waves along the way. So there's a 3, Arvika. We've been talking about Arvika all year. She's been lackluster, but she's growing. You can see she's getting better and better and better. Said we'd take her to a half-mile track. We did last night, and she jogged. 2-2 in the mud. Last quarter at 31 seconds, but they had fenders on at Flamborough. I was in Pennsylvania. I don't know what the weather was like, but I assume the track was a little soupy. fillies certainly look good. There's a filly that's never really been great on the front end training or racing. Mario pushed her to the front, parked to the quarter almost, pushed her to the front, drove away, won by 6, 7, 8 lengths, and she looked good. Might race her once more and a half, once more at Mohawk, and then shut her down for the year. She's obviously she didn't put together the money or the illustrious season we hoped, but we still have her, and we have her for next year also. So that's her. Delcrest Star Angel, a filly that we've quietly said nothing about for a while. Schooled the other day in 2-4. She's ready to go. Now she's a giant filly. Is she going to go out and trot in 57? No. She's going to go out and trot, though. She's going to go out and race. Probably going to race her 3, 4, 5 times. Probably 5 times. And then we'll shut her down for the year. Also, all of you that are affiliated with Real Willie saw me drive him into a giant blind switch. Not only did you, but the judges did. They called me in, said I have to come see them tomorrow about driving a horse into a blind switch at 9 to 5. I said, he's 9 to 5. What do you want me to say? Your announcer picked him before the race because he was dropping from a condition to a claimer. He hasn't got a check since July 10th. It's October. And because he went away 9 to 5 and I drove into a blind switch, that makes me a bad person? They said, well, you know, he took a lot of money. I said, yeah, from us. It's probably the stable owners that bet him. He was 9 to 5. What do you want me to say? So I have to go in and see the judges about running Real Willie into a blind switch. If I file him right, I'm probably a winner. But Real Willie needed a couple of easy trips. We wanted to make sure we got him one. Obviously, I was a little too easy on him, and we drew 9 again because he's handicapped. But that's the class for Real Willie, and I think Real Willie will do very, very well on Monday. The reason I mention this is for the people that own him and the people that bet him last week. He does have the 9-hole, but if we get any sort of a trip, I promise I'll steer clear of any blind switches. So we'll see what Willie can do next week. Last on our agenda this week will be the shares. I'm going to be taking an internal audit, see what kind of shares we have. You're going to see me talk about the yearlings in a little bit. The drone is coming. Big news. The drone's coming on Thursday. We got Harrisburg coming, and I just don't want to be in a position where I was last year, looking for investment money from our clients to make sure that the stable ran smoothly all throughout the winter. So we do have a lot of shares to move throughout the fall and winter time, and we'll be doing that over the next few weeks. We'll have our big open house again coming. Should mention it anyway. It's less than 2 months away. We're looking at probably the second week in December, the second Sunday in December, same as last year. She can plan for that. We'll start making mention of that soon enough, right after Halloween probably. So that's the opening to our video this week. Been a few weeks, a little rusty, but can't thank you enough. Now that the Breeders' Crown is over, and the most of the stake season, the stake season is done for the year for the most part. We're going to start winding down our horses, turning them out, and getting our 2-year-olds that didn't race in the summer ready to go, getting our yearlings broke, getting the drone flying, and looking forward to a 2019 stake season. I'll be back in just a minute. We're going to run through the yearlings for you. Run through the yearlings and tell you what I think about them. We're going to talk about the turnouts, and we're going to talk about all the stables. We'll be back in just a minute. So we'll give a quick talk about the turnouts we have right now. White Tiger's on stall rest for another 2 weeks, then he's going to Ohio. Winterwood Farms, Mark from Winterwood Farms, I talked to him yesterday. He was kind enough to take all our horses back from Indiana to Ohio, where they will await the Doyle truck to bring them back. Beach Bum BB and Havana Unana is coming back also. So, White Tiger's in the stall. Lawmaker's going to Winterwood next week. He's done for the year. Cruising in style. Probably race him a few more times, and we'll see how he is. If he's no good his next start, I guess he might be a little tired too. We might turn him out. Also, Stonebridge Simba is turned out right now in some turnout farm in New Jersey. Andrew says it's a nice spot. They had enough room for one horse, so we turned him out there. He'll be coming back to Canada second week in December to begin training down for his 3-year-old season. Travis Henry is Pay the Line Blue Chip, and she's swimming right now. Her sesamoids, when we x-rayed, were a little sore looking, so we opted to take her off the track, stand her for a month, swim her for 3 weeks. He's going to train her a couple of times, and he'll be racing her in London. He's stabled close to London. He has a pool. That's what we're doing at Pay the Line Blue Chip. Jared Bothwell has a pool also. We could have sent Sally DeVita to Travis. He didn't have room, I don't think, that week. and Jared Bothwell had done some swimming for us earlier on, I think. So we sent Sally DeVee up there to him. He's going to be racing her. We'll see what kind of benefit that goes. I think it will. Again, this is a mare that's out of a sister to foaled. Again, keep that in mind as we start moving forward. I don't know enough about breeding to tell people what we're going to do, but we have a lot of very intelligent people, smart people that understand, one, about breeding, and two, about breeding farms moving forward. So these are things we may switch gears also and maybe open up a little bit of a breeding farm for ourselves. If we're going to pay big money for horses, maybe we should breed some of them too. So we have Sally DeVee. She's up in the air. We're going to keep a close eye on her and see what we want to do with her. She's obviously well bred. So she is up at Jared Bothwell's farm. If you own her and you want to visit her, that's Joe Stutzman's farm on First Line, up straight across from my house almost as the crow flies. Is it called Rockwood? Or
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. Guelph or Rockwood would be First Line, Joe Stutzman's farm. That's where Sally DeVee is right now with Jared Bothwell. Turned out in Ohio right now, Oh So Pine, Twinsburg, Lawmaker's on his way. That's where White Tiger will be going. Those 4 horses will be at Winterwood in Ohio. Oh, and Springbridge Proud's there too. I forgot. Springbridge Proud is there too. Forgot about him. So there's 130 horses. Tommy has Bay Jewel, Buckingham. Casanova's Jewel will probably come in another week. Final Answer will also come in another week. Heart 8 is out for a while, so is Ivanka. Candy Max got another 2 weeks max. He'll be back in. Not an Angel's out for a while. Time Otulo just went out. Warwi Ultra just went out. And Yes has been out for a bit, but he's going to be out probably till the 1st of December. He deserves it. Man, one of the biggest surprises of the year was Yes, wasn't he? Truthfully speaking. You know, we had a lot of horses we thought were good. We weren't surprised, raced good and trained good and did well. But Yes just took that mediocrity to a new level and really turned into a really, really tough, and, you know, we can say, geez, he always drew good. He always ended up with a good trip. He was always lucky. I mean, he's not luck. Luck is he made his own luck. He still had to beat horses, and he did. And Yes, certainly garnered a lot of respect from me over this summer. And at Westover Hills, what do they call that? It's not Westover Hills. When I first got in business up here, there's a beautiful turnout farm just built around the corner. They owned some horses with us at the start, but they don't have it anymore. And so I call it Westover, but it's in what? No, I don't know what it is. Anyway, over there, beautiful place also. Maintenance Man, See You in Tuscany, Sunshine's Finest. Is that where they are? Yeah. And Sunshine Inn? No, she's back now. Yeah. And Time Al Houdini is out there also? Oh, Tommy has Time Al Houdini. I apologize, Tommy. Time Al Houdini's out at Tommy's, and West 52nd's at Sunshine also? Westover also?
Yes.
Yes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 at Westover. We have 4 in Ohio. Soon to be 5. What are you looking at? Oh. And Tommy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 horses at Tommy's. So those are the turnouts. Some of them will be coming back soon. Some of them just went out. Some of them are halfway through their turnout. The top end colts will be coming back, and fillies will be coming back the 1st of December, the first week of December. And some of the other ones will be coming back sooner than that. Next to come back in will be Final Answer, Heart 8, Candy Mac. That's it. Did I not say Casanova? Yeah, I said them first. So, those are the turnouts. We'll be back just in a minute. We'll give you the babies. And after the babies, we will give you all the stables. We'll go through them. Yes, sir. We're now in on the stables portion of our sermon here, as Amy called it. Our sermon? Is that what you called it? Our sermon. We'll run through the 3 major stables that we have right now. Jason McGinnis is back from Ohio. He's got a full barn. Harry Polton's got 12 here, and Kevin McMaster has 18. May as well start with Kevin. Kevin's had a great run for us quietly all summer. Does a great job training. We didn't start him off with the strongest stable, so to speak, and he's done some great work there all summer. American League, he's about 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away. I think Kevin said he's been in 16. He's training him back 2 sets and double headers, and I would have had him there already. So Kevin is taking his time with American League, but you know, I didn't like American League at 2. We kept him for whatever reason, and at 3 I did like him. He got a little tired at in the summertime. We turned him out, brought him back. This will be I'm really curious what's going to take place with American League. He could be any kind of horse. He could be a condition claimer. He could be a good little condition horse for us. But that'll be up to him. Kevin has him on his toes, probably. I saw him coming off the track the other day. He looked sharp, looked fit, looked good. He's about 3 weeks away. Art Seeker, he'll be coming back in a week. Now, Art Seeker's on the list. He's going to be sold, I think. But we're not going to sell him when he's worth nothing. We did have to freshen him up a little bit. Turn him out, freshen him up a little bit, and then bring him back, put a couple of lines on him, and we'll probably move him along. He'll be on our, there's a list of horses we'll probably disperse, either on Gate or Standard Canada or both. And this guy's likely one of them. So Art Seeker, he'll be back in another couple of weeks. We'll put a couple of good lines up. He goes out and really looks good, we'll continue to race him. But if he continues to look mediocre and strive for that mediocrity, then I'm sorry, he's going to need a new post office box, so to speak, a new mailbox for Art Seeker. So we'll see. It literally is in his hands. His future is literally in his hands right now, in his hooves. So Art Seeker will be back in a couple of weeks. Be My Delight. Kevin loves this filly. How can't you love this filly? You know, we schooled her in 2 minutes, but she also got injured the same time our lawmaker did, up over her back. There's just no sense trying to push her and race her and hurt her. We turned her out, let her feet cool off, let her knees close up, and let that back cool down and fill in. And Kevin loves her. Said she looks like a machine. I don't know how many weeks away. I'm going to say 2, and she's been in for a while. But I know he was talking very, very highly of her the other day. I haven't got a chance to see her on the track, but I know what she looks like. She's an awesome-looking filly, and I think she's going to be a good filly for us. And Be My Delight should be ready to go soon enough. Better Call Mike. He keeps talking Better Call Mike up. He said he's been in 14. He's getting a little racier. He said he's lazy sometimes, but he'll race with horses. So that's good. He's sound, which is very, very important. Mike had those issues with his knees last year. Kevin's been in 14 with him. I'd say 2-3 weeks away for Better Call Mike also. Boldness. I watched his brother race last night, the Breeders' Crown Elimination. He made a break, but he looked good. Yes, Mickey looks just like Boldness, except Boldness is all out of gear. Kevin had Boldness down in his barn, and I saw him train the other day. He didn't train good, but Harry liked him when he had him up with his. I'm gonna take. There's 2 horses. Boldness is one, and Dewey Ann's the other one. I'm going to take them up to the top barn. Now, Dewey Ann is a horse that we're looking at potentially breeding this spring, so I'm not really concerned with her. Boldness I am. I wasn't before, but he's got to that 220 hurdle again. He's out of gear. I know it's maturity. Can't wait forever. We're not running a petting zoo here. So I'm going to try and tinker with his shoeing really aggressively over the next few weeks and see if we can't get him back into the position he was when he was training down to begin with. There's no real reason he can't do it. Obviously, he's a maturing colt, and that is going to play a major role. But there's no expiry date on their immaturity on the side of them. There's no way for me to know when he'll be ready to go and he won't be. And I certainly can't wait for tell our clients, you know, he'll make a good 4-year-old. It's just not going to fly. So, Boldness. Again, another horse I wanna stick up for him. He's a Muscle Hill. He's a good-looking colt. He's got a brother that went in 150, 151, made, I don't know, God knows, 400,000 or 500,000. But that's not going to save him when it all comes down to him. He's going to have to do his work. So, another horse, Boldness. I'm going to be looking for some improvement in him over the next few weeks. Book the Bet, probably the toughest drive she's ever gotten in his life. Maybe one of the worst drives I've given in a while. I can't really say that. You know, I'll call a spade, and I'll come on and apologize when I make a mistake. I'm not taking Book the Bet off the gate. And it just seemed like everybody on earth left. I was 4 wide in the first turn, 3 wide in the quarter, ended up second over, 3 wide down the backstretch. She was still fighting to the wire. That's the first time I've ever seen Book the Bet put out 110% of her life. I was disappointed with the way she got driven in myself, although I don't know what I could have done differently other than just drag her off the gate, which I would never do. And but I was very impressed with the way she showed the tenacity and composure she needs to be. So very happy with what I saw from her. Not so happy with the race, but very happy with what I saw in her attitude this week. Hopefully I didn't hurt her, but I doubt I will. She's pretty tough, and she saves quite a bit for next week. So I'm sure Book the Bet will get a better draw and get a bigger chunk this week. Cash in on me. I saw him train the other day. I thought he trained great. Went a mile and 16, come a half and 8, I believe Kevin said. So 2 halves and 8, I guess. But he looked really, really good in the the mile. I thought he looked tremendous. So I saw a lot of improvement. We made some shoeing changes. Kevin made some shoeing changes on him, I believe. I'm interested to see what he looks like this coming week. If he continues to move down, he's less than a month away, but that'll be up to him. But I was very happy with what I saw from Cash In on Me this week. Cruising with Angus, trained in 2:14 the other day. Kevin loves this colt. Can't stop talking about how good-looking colt he is, how aggressive he is, how he can march. He likes him a lot. Won a mile in 14 off half an 8, last half in 6 the other day. Very happy with him. Kevin was, and I was happy also. So, Cruising with Angus is a horse probably, again, ready another 2-3 weeks. Dancing on My Own, she's about a month away. You know, when Kevin goes to her, she's still a little bit lazy, but when Kevin goes to her, she looks tremendous. And then Jacques goes to the little French guy, and he's picking at her all the time, and she's like, I don't think so, buddy. And she just goes out and does her work. But I know a couple of people that owned her were asking about buying her sister out of Harrisburg. So I don't know, we'll see. An unraced sister probably would drive the price down on the sister, and she won't be racing by the time Dancing on My Own does. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Dancing on My Own, I think Kevin's been about 18 with her, 16, something like that. I haven't sat behind her yet and haven't gone with her, but I will soon. Then we have Dewey Ann. Dewey Ann's coming up to the top barn. This filly we have slated for potentially breeding this spring. I'd like to get her to the races, but we'll see. She got a big splint. She popped left hind. Apparently that has to be cryoed, but she'll be coming up to the top barn when I get back starting Monday. Holden Steady's back now. Kevin's got him. His days of buffets and slumber have come to an end. He'll be working hard for the entire winter. I would suggest we'll probably race him sometime in January, end of December. Get some races into this guy and get him on track. See what we have heading into the Illinois season 2019. If we like what we see, we'll probably shut him down again in February for a few weeks, bring him back, and have him ready to go, I believe, April. I would assume April, the end of April is when the Illinois season starts, but don't quote me on that. If I knew Susie raced poorly the other night, I think, probably a little bit sick. I didn't get the chance to talk to Kevin yet. She was 6th or 7th, raced well in her 2 previous starts, so she's a filly that's going to fill up the condition claiming ranks throughout the winter in London. I think we'll do just fine with her. I would say last week we'll call that an anomalous race so far for her. Majesty's Boy is back, looking good on the track. Kevin has him. He's probably going to need another 6 weeks to train down, and then he'll be ready to go. He'll race all throughout the winter. The only way he'll get a freshening up before next year's stake season, if he proves he's a stake horse, that will be up to him. So Majesty Boy's back going now. Master Saver is back going. Saw him on the track the other day. He looked great, and I saw his face and his white foot, and I'm like, geez, I hope that's Master Saver. Sure enough, he came around and he said, yeah, that's him. So Master Saver's been swimming and eating, obviously, because he's fat. He's a big boy, and it looks great. So Master Saver, obviously, he had a lot of little things that were just biting at him and bugging him, and we stopped with them for the season, and that was the right thing to do. So Master Saver will be back in another 3-4 weeks. Quartz Blue Chip also training down under Kevin, been in 2:18, I believe. Still can be lazy from time to time. He likes her. We'll know, he'll have a better idea of how much he likes her and how much we like her come 2 minutes. So I'd say another 3 weeks we'll get a look at what Quartz Blue Chip has in store for us. Redwood again is back. Oh goody, oh joy. Redwood again is back. He's racing tonight at Flamborough, last night for you. He's had probably one of the most lackluster and mediocre racing careers in recent memory of a horse we kept. Obviously, my commentary is negative and pessimistic because he was one of our best colts training down and simply didn't show up. I should have sold him in Ohio. I bought him back because I said for $7,000. How couldn't I? Wish I hadn't done that now. But we're going to race him. I'm sure he's going to be good tonight. Kevin trained him in 57 at the farm. He goes, this is a nice horse. I said, I don't want to hear about this horse. Just show me when he gets to the winner's circle. 2 years we've had him, no wins, 0. So Redwood again is going to have to do some work in the near future, or he will absolutely be on the dispersal. He is on the dispersal. What am I saying? He's on the dispersal list, and he's going to have to do a pile of digging to climb out of there by the time we get to the day when we say this is our dispersal list, and they're starting today. My man Road Tripper, he's back. He had a nice, well-deserved rest. I don't care. This horse is going to make a good horse for us down the road. He's 3 now. He's turning 4. He's going to be with us for quite a while. I have no problems whatsoever. No problems whatsoever with Road Tripper, never have. It was pretty evident and obvious that, one, he wanted to work, and two, he was just too big and immature. He did win that stake final in Georgian this year in 58. He's shown tremendous bursts of speed, and he's just a nice horse. So I have no problems. Obviously, we're going to have to wait. I've never in my life waited to see a horse turn out when they're 4, when I broke them as a yearling. But this guy's just going to take time, and he's well worth it. I know he'll be worth it. He's already shown that he can win. He already won in 58. He's raced well. You just got to put it all together on a consistent basis, and that lack of consistency is simply because he isn't 100% mature yet, and that's coming soon. So that's Kevin's burn. Kevin's got a lineup here. Most of them are going to be ready. He's going to be busy this winter. A lot of these horses are just getting ready to go. And oh, I forgot. How did I forget Dancing at Midland? It's right there. I apologize. I skipped over Dancing at Midland. Dancing at Midland was in the pool. He's back going now, looking good, and he'll be ready to rock in the next week. Kevin wanted to train him 2 trips and put him in the box. We did have him in the pool because he had bruised that leg that he did left time before. He's another horse that actually might make the dispersal list, but I don't think he needs to. I mean, unless he comes out and races flat again. In my mind, I think he's just a touch above Art Seeker, and I think he needs to prove a lot more. So the more I talk about it, maybe he does belong on the dispersal list, but he's not on there yet. And we'll see in the coming weeks, the next 2-3 weeks, what's in store for Dancing at Midland. So that's Kevin's burn. We'll be back in a minute with Harry and Jason, and then call it quits for this week. Take care. We're going to go right to Harry's barn now. Harry's got 12 horses in his barn, some of them coming back, only one of them racing, I think, right now, but a lot that'll be racing soon enough. Autumn Wings tops the alphabetical list. Autumn Wings put some weight on and looks good. Really hoping this filly comes back matured and ready to go in December, because she showed a ton of speed all year. Her qualifier was very subpar, but she qualified. Just didn't look good doing it. She had been in 58 before that. Just needed some time. We gave her a good chunk of time. I'm really hoping that's all it took. These horses are going to mature whenever they want. Ollie, shh. These horses are going to mature at their own rate. I can't rush it. I can't make them mature any quicker. So I'm hoping this rest we just gave her will do the trick. Next, Fan the Flames. Fan the Flames is you either like him or you don't. I always did, and some people didn't want to wait for this guy to mature. They sold their shares. I bought some shares of him, and he'll be ready to go probably in about 4 weeks. He's put some weight on and he looks really, really good. So Fan the Flames here. He's got him. I don't know why I didn't switch him over to Jason. Jason always had him, but anyway, Fan the Flames looks good right now and probably ready to go in 3 or 4 weeks. Time. Yeah, I see that. Just a Tad is just a tad lighter. Snip, snip. We made him a gelding 2 weeks ago, and Just a Tad, I think, will be a much better horse for it. He's getting a little ornery, a little hot, wasn't doing his work. Needed time to mature too, so the time off certainly didn't help him. He's had a good chunk of time off now. He's back now and ready to start training here in another week or so. Just a Tad is. Horse that I'm very interested in watching the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, Lima's Son, or Lima's Son, as our Ohio clients like to continue to remind me about. Lima's Son is training down good, or jogging good right now. He's been jogging for 5-6 weeks. We've taken our time with this colt, obviously. I think he deserved it, and we are going to hopefully get him back to the races. Probably right before we start to train him, we'll get that leg ultrasounded, see if we can't get that under control. He obviously has had a substantial injury to that in the springtime. We had to stop with him. Now we got him back going. We'll see how that leg holds up throughout the winter time. Just to Lima's Son will be ready to go soon. That's supposed to be at 0, young lady. Lincoln James, a little flat last night. Was in tough the 2 weeks before that. Now he's going to be dropping down in class. I'm expecting good things from Lincoln James. We will see what comes of that in the coming weeks. Looked like he got a little tired on the end of it, but James had him jammed up pretty good coming to the, not James's fault. The horse was jammed up really good coming to the half. You can see his chin tucked. I would probably wager good money that he probably shut his air off a little bit. So I think next week we'll put a choke plate on Lincoln James, maybe something in his mouth, just to help him get his head out and keep his head from getting tucked in and shutting his air off in the mile. Next, a horse that everybody's interested to see what she's going to come back and do is Linnea. Now, she was a little sick. She had bad allergies all summer. No allergies in the winter. So we're going to race her throughout the fall and winter. She should be ready to go probably in a month. We'll probably race her all winter time, put together some money for her, hopefully. And if we decide that she is, in fact, the stake filly we always thought she was, we're going to shut her down. Excuse me. We're going to shut her down. Ava, put your earphones on, honey. That's why I gave them to you. We're going to shut her down for maybe a month and freshen her back up for the stakes, if indeed that's the direction, the trajectory, the course we take with Linnea. Maxwell Plum just began training back. He'll be ready to go in 4 weeks. He is huge now. Talk about a horse that needed some time to mature. Wow. He looks like a totally different horse. I didn't know who he was when I saw him on the track. I didn't believe Harry when he first said it. Then as soon as I saw him, like, it is Maxwell Plum. He's big. Turned into a big boy. So Maxwell Plum, very, very happy with what I've seen from him. Ready for the Beach, another horse. He's very close to being on the list to part ways. He had a very okay... I don't like horses that you think are good horses and they just turn out to be mediocre for no apparent reason. That's him. So Ready for the Beach has a lot to prove. Ollie. Ready for the Beach has a lot to prove in the coming months. Or he's going to make it onto our little shopping list also. Our little list of horses that will be going for sale in the near future. But Ready for the Beach is safe for now. We'll see how he trains back. We'll see how he races, and then we'll make a decision on that. Screaming Hawk just come back in. There's a horse that we gave lots of time to after August, and let him really mature, that colt. He really showed me a lot this summer. Sure, he was sick a couple of times. He got beat a couple of times. He looked a little lame his last start. It's all maturity. We gave him lots and lots of time off. We brought him back now. He's going to jog for a month and then begin training back. Screaming Hawk, also a horse that showed he's got some ability. He trotted in 59. Never got a win yet, but trotted in 59 and did some good on the track. Really happy to see him back and in action. Sunshine Inn, another filly along the same lines as a Linnea. Only difference is Linnea took a mark at 155. Sunshine Inn struggled a little bit. I think she had some aches and pains. Again, some issues with maturity, but I believe we've taken care of all that. She's had some time off, back training now, back jogging now. She'll be training in another 3 weeks. A horse, I'm going to say one of the biggest shocks of how good he looks now, the Butler Did It. The Butler Did It come back in, and, you know, he was never super impressive. He always just kind of did his work. Went to New York and got a check, a small check in that stake race, did his work. Went to Paul Kelly, was sick, then we ended up turning him out, only off one start. He come back, he looks like a good horse now. He's big, he's strong, he's put weight on, he's put muscle on. He looks good, this horse, and I'm very interested to see what's going to take place with the Butler Did It in the coming months. There was a horse that I would have thought might have made it onto that list also. Not from what I've seen so far, unless he trains down poorly, which I don't think he will. This horse could be a decent horse next year. He looks totally different than he did training down at 2. And a horse that I ended up with a lot of shares in, a filly that's back going right now, Too Far Gone. Too Far Gone, don't know what's going to happen with her. I don't think she's changed that much from when she went out to when she come back. That might be a good thing or a bad thing. She always had a good attitude. She got to translate it to the racetrack now. We'll see if she can do that, and if she can't, we will have that list that will be waiting for her also. This is a filly that I hope will come back and look better, but it'll take time. We'll see what happens in it. Ollie. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks and months with Too Far Gone. If she doesn't come back good, she won't make it months. She'll make it a month, and then we'll have to make a decision maybe to sell her. But who knows? Still think this filly's got a lot of time and had a lot of talent last year. Struggled with some lameness issues. I believe those are probably fixed. Hopefully they're fixed, and we'll see how she looks in the coming weeks. So that's Harry's barn. Harry's got a lot going on, a lot coming up also, just like Kevin. We're we got a lot that's going to take place here in the next 2 months. Some horses to watch. The Butler did it. I got to keep an eye on this colt. Really, really impressed me. Lincoln James next week should be dropping down in class. Autumn Wings, just a tad. These are two of our horses that we thought were some of our better horses trading down and haven't really made much of a punch into the racing scene yet. We're going to be looking at them. Maxwell Plum looks like a different horse. Want to see what he looks like on the track when he comes back. Screaming Hawk, Sunshine Inn. A lot of horses, a lot of things going on for Harry in the coming weeks and months. Really interested to see what's going to take place. We'll be back just in a minute with Jason's barn. Jason's got about 15 or so here. We're going to run through them. A lot going on there also. Now we're back with Jason's barn. Now Jason obviously had a tremendous summer. You know, I'm going to give Jason some props here, all right? Because we brought Kevin McMaster in. Kevin McMaster was a king of Canada for almost a decade in the late 90s. We brought Harry Polton in, a guy who had world champions, just prolific trainers, both of them. And I did take some flack from people saying, you know, who's Jason McGinnis? You know what? Jason McGinnis was a second trainer for Irv Miller. He had his own stable for a while, but Jason is very methodical. Jason takes very good care of his barn, understands what the horses need to do, you know, responds to the trainers. Jason understands the difference between where he's at and where he could be. And he's taken the bull by the horns, so to speak, and he's impressed me a lot over the last year. Jason did a tremendous job in Ohio, and he's doing a tremendous job right now. And you know, Harry and Kevin are doing exactly what I expect them to do. Be professionals, be the trainers they always were and always will be. And Jason has really impressed me over the last little while. So we're going to run through Jason's barn really quick. Our Vic broke her cherry last night, got her first lifetime win, looked good doing it. 2-2 in the mud, but it was the mud. And I think Mario was pretty impressed with her. I know I was from what I saw. Our Vic is on her way forward now, hopefully. Probably race her 2 or 3 more times and then shut her down for the year. Boston Glide, there's a horse that I bought a sizable chunk in. When we turned him out, I didn't want him going to the Harrisburg sale. I think this colt's best days and best races are ahead of him. I hope I'm right. If I am, we're going to find out soon enough, as Boston Glide is going to be ready to go probably in another 10 days. I'm going to qualify him without hobbles on and see if he can go. I think he can. From what I've seen from this colt, it shouldn't be a problem. Canale Hanover, we're gelding him tomorrow. We should have gelded him a long time ago. Not because he had a bad attitude, just because he wasn't putting out the same way he should have. This was a tremendous 2-year-old. Keep in mind, this was a colt that we mentioned in the big 3. Lawmaker, Cruising in Anger, Cruising with Style, and Canale Hanover. Canale Hanover looked like a claimer as a 3-year-old. He looked terrible. We gave him time off. I should have gelded him months ago, but we did not. We brought him back. We'll geld him now. It won't interfere with his training down, and hopefully he'll be a better horse for it. So Canale Hanover gelded Monday, probably about 6 weeks away. Maybe a little bit more. Curious Winner just come back in. He's another horse that is on that list we spoke about, that infamous list that will be compiled in the next 3 or 4 weeks of horses that will be relocating to other places. We have had horses with the people that own and operate On Gate in the past. Haven't utilized that site very much, but we will in the future. We're looking at maybe having a dispersal page put on there for the stable around December, where we can say these are the horses that we believe are just not going to be the stake caliber horses we need. But there's lots of horses out there, people out there looking for horses, and these ones will be right up your alley. So that's Curious Winner. Again, another horse. Your future is in your hooves, so to speak. Whatever he decides to do will be what we judge him upon. So he starts with a clean slate right now, but he's on a short leash. So Curious Winner, be ready to go probably in about a month. Dance Hall Babe, very, very disappointing last start. Just frustrated with this filly, and not angry at her, just frustrated with the way the whole year unfolded for her. You know, when she hit her knee in the middle of summer, that took a good month away from her. It wasn't ideal, and it hasn't turned out ideal. She somehow socked away $17,000, and she's going to race in the final next week. Raced terrible the other day. We're going to make some equipment changes. Yeah, her weight count come back 12 in a bit, so she was sick. But she's going to have to improve a lot to be the factor. I assumed she was a layover in this series when I put her in. Now she just seems like a presence. So her last start will be next Thursday, and I would hope, pray that she does well. We'll see. Delcrest Star Angels ready to go. She's going to be qualifying Thursday afternoon. They changed the qualifying schedule to Thursday 4 o'clock. Oh my God, man. Thursday at 4 o'clock at Mohawk. I liked it in the morning, have a little nap and go to the races. Now we got to be there nice and early. So Thursday at 4 o'clock, we're going to be qualifying Delcrest Star Angel. Schooled her the other day in 2-4. This filly has shown a lot of improvement over the last 3-4 weeks even. Really, really like what I've seen from her. She'll be qualifying on Thursday afternoon. Happy Holidays is back. She's going to be ready to go probably in 2 weeks. I would imagine Jason will probably train her up a little bit. We made the switch from Kevin to Jason. No really particular reason. Just Kevin didn't have a whole lot of luck with her. Horses are horses. Some of them race good with some trainers and not with others. We decided to make a change, and it could have been the horse all along. You know, she had a great 2017 for us. 2018 has been abysmal. Another filly that we have earmarked on the potential broodmare list. How can't you? Her breeding's okay, but she's going to mark a 54 and 4.5 mile track, the second fastest mile ever clocked in Canada for a trotting mare or filly. Pretty hard not to like. Happy Holidays. She's made well over $100,000, so she deserves maybe a chance also. Again, I'm not the breeding expert. I'll defer to some of our clients who clearly are to help me in that regard. And we'll build a group, I think, this spring of a breeding group, so to speak. We're going to invest in these horses to breed them. What we do with them after that, we'll either keep them or sell them. Again, we'll be up to our crew. I think we need to make an actual distinction, because you know, breeding farms that race horses are kind of looked down upon a little bit, because you just assume they're going to keep the best ones. So we either sell them all or we keep them all. And I think that's the way to go about it, and make that very clear to not just our clients but the public moving forward. If we are breeding these horses to sell these yearlings, fine, we sell them all. We can't tell anybody we're not going to keep any of them, because that would appear obviously that we were picking and choosing. Not that you can know as a yearling. There's no way anybody can know. But if you give me 10 yearlings that are sale bound and tell me to pick the 2 best and sell the other 8, I mean, technically you could have a decent idea. So it reflects poorly on the barn. So we're either going to sell them all or keep them all, I think, or maybe disperse ones that maybe we simply just, maybe they're small, maybe we don't want them. But I think we're going to make a clear distinction of that moving forward also. But excited in the own right. I don't know what kind of role I'll play in the breeding side of it, but I'm interested to learn. This is a facet of the industry I never really was involved in that much, and luckily for us, we got some real professionals that are involved with us. So happy Holidays, of course, that we're interested in how she's going to come back and race. I hope well. If she doesn't, then she could be in full in the spring. Gelona, a mare that we got off Burke and did really, really well for about 4 or 5 starts. I drove her poorly 2 weeks ago. I removed her to the front, and in hindsight, it was just the wrong move. Sylvain drove her conservatively, said he almost lost her at the gate the other day, and then she was good after that, and then she ended up being 5th, but a mediocre 5th, and we expect more. So Gelona is a horse we're going to answer some questions with in the next couple of weeks. King of the Ball raced his first start, raced horribly, but we're trying to take the edge off King of the Ball, race him in a comfortable way where I can control him. He was extremely controllable the other night, so I think we went too far to the other side with him. Then we scoped him after, and he was full of mucus, so he needed a week off, and we're going to work on him. Obviously, he's a horse that obviously can end up on that list also. I don't want to, because it's a horse that showed a ton of talent, and I think we need to get to a position where he's aggressive, but not too aggressive. That's going to take 3 or 4 or 5 starts, so just bear with me. King of the Ball is not like the other horses. It's going to take a little time to find out how to have them proper to race and proper to control in the race. Just going to need a few starts to tweak that. Mystical Mission's on his way back. Should be ready to go, I don't know, in another 4 weeks, 5 weeks, he'll be ready to rock. He got a little vacation, well-needed, well-deserved vacation. His best racing took place in the winter last year, so the timing is perfect for it. We'll have him ready to go probably in 4 weeks, I guess. I haven't talked to Jason about him, but I did see him on the track. He looked great. Put some weight on, exactly what we needed. Real Willie, my boy, Willie. Willie's going to be racing Monday night with the 9-hole. Obviously, I drove him into a blind switch the other day. A little uncalled for, but I guess it was called for, but it is what it is. Let me know blind switch is Monday for Real Willie. RV LeBron will also be Hey, did he qualify on Saturday? I don't know if he qualified on Saturday. No, they had fenders on last night. I bet you they didn't qualify him. Thursday, RV LeBron will be qualifying. I feel a little embarrassed. They were going to qualify RV LeBron Saturday at Flamborough, but they said, I told them if it's raining, don't take him. And I didn't get an update that said he qualified, so I assume it was raining. I saw the fenders on the horses last night. I would suggest they probably opted not to qualify him. He will qualify Thursday at Mohawk. He's been in 2-3, looked good doing it too. So, who knows? RV LeBron is ready to go. Stolen Dance, I trained her in 16 the other day. We'd made some significant shoeing changes and equipment changes. She was pretty winded after the training mile, which isn't like her, so I would suggest she needs that transition into that shoeing change and equipment changes. I told Jason just to go double headers with her until she felt good. And I said, makes sense to me. Don't you think that's probably the best way to approach it? He said, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Also, is 2 trips and double headers until we get her strong. Then we can continue on with her. We don't want to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. It just makes no sense. So I thought she trained well in 216, but she was winded afterwards, which we don't want to see. So I'm going to have to back up with her a little bit more, put a little more foundation work into my big girl. Stonebridge Loyal looks sound and looks great. I was concerned, how's she going to come back? Is she going to be sound? Jason trained her and said she looks fantastic. She's been in 220 a couple of times with her. She's probably about 3 weeks away, and I'm really excited to see what she's going to do. Last and not least, definitely the craziest, Torches Pirate. Torches Pirate is a horse we had sent to us by the people that bought Sebastian K, a numbered company. Their number company is out of Gloucester, Ontario, I think. The Sugarman family operate that company, and or consulted, I guess, I don't know. And very happy with what I saw from Torches Pirate. His first start, he was a bit of a runaway. Then I drove him, or no, somebody else drove him, he was okay. I drove him his next 2, I thought he was good. He raced well in Mohawk. Made a break the other night, he was hitting the bike. I have to tweak his equipment, I think, a little bit, and then we'll get him proper. So he's got like 50,000 maiden, he's still a maiden, so he's going to hang out in the maiden classes, I would assume, for a little while, until we can win with him. And then we'll see what happens. So Torches Pirate is the last horse in Jason's list. That's it. It's all the stables. About 8 hours of talking here, but we got through it. So you get your first update on all the babies. You get an opening monologue, if you will. We have all the stables, all the turnouts. That's it. That's all. We're about 2 hours from the border. We're going to race tonight at Flamborough Downs, and then we start the fall schedule. Drone will be out and flying on Thursday morning. Come on out. If you want to come out and check it out, great. If you want to watch it live, you can do that too. If you want to watch the video, you're welcome to do that. We got a lot going on this fall at the stable. This is just the beginning of 2019 right now, in October of 2018, here at TheStable.ca. I will talk to you soon. We still do have Harrisburg coming up, but a lot to discuss between now and then.